today I learned a valuable lesson. I got a call to come here to Atlanta to remove a snake out of this basement. And the lady called, her husband called and said, there's a snake here. We saw 2 of them, and we think it left because the garage door is open. And I said, yeah, you know, if you leave them alone, they'll just leave on their own. And so the next day, today, he calls back and says, my wife is not happy with that answer. She wants you here to check the garage. So I walk into this garage. It's a pretty clean garage. There's a lot of stuff in the garage. That's what garages are for. So I'm sitting here thinking, I have a lot to go through. And I made a mistake in that I did not turn my camera on to video when I should have. Because what I did, I just kind of stood in here and started looking around before I started moving anything, which is always a good thing to do when you're looking for a snake. And looking over here through all this stuff, and then I looked to my left, and that's when I saw a snake, and which I took a picture of here. And I should have videoed it. I didn't. I apologize, because it was really cool. The snake was up there, right up there, kind of on top of that white box. His head was right around here, something like that. And I went to grab the snake, and the snake disappeared. I'm like, where did he go? So I immediately grabbed that white box and went to sit it down here out of the way so I could look for the snake. And I'm holding the white box in my hands while I'm looking for the snake up there. And the homeowner here says, I said, where did he go? And the homeowner says, you're holding him. A snake was in that box. Not one snake, 2 snakes. So we just caught these. So these 2 snakes were in this box. Now this is a breeding pair of rat snakes. And so coming up very soon, the female here will lay some eggs. And the funny thing was, let me show you this box. This box that these snakes were in was a box of love. It was a Valentine's card box, and they were squeezed in here together. So we got both of the rat snakes, and if you know anything about rat snakes, they're very big, they're very docile snakes, and this pair is in love. So we're going to take them from here, we're going to keep them together, we're going to release them away from this garage so they won't return. But I've learned my lesson. From now on, I'll keep the camera rolling. At least that's my plan.
I was just back with my sister, and neither of us had ever seen a snake in the wild in California, living there all our lives.
Well, now you saw one in your garage.
Oh man. Yeah, we've seen, I had a 1 rat snake once before. I saw it was actually a big thunderstorm, and we were just stopping by. I was like throwing a thing in the house, and then we were going out to dinner. And I thought it was a branch that had fallen down, but it was it was a rat snake right across the front walk. Yeah. And then I think that's it at our house. We saw, a copperhead once at a park nearby. And that's the only one to really worry about.
Yeah, that's cool. Whew. Well, I'm glad we could get them out of there for you. Very cool.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hope that's some good YouTube. Send me the link when you put it up.
I will. I'll send it to you. I just wish I'd have filmed me catching them. You know how stupid I felt when you said you're holding the snakes? Because I'm looking for the snakes.
That would have been pretty clever.
I was like, oh gosh.
There we go. Let's go. Yeah. Honestly, they're so. I mean, I guess up close you see they're not like jet black. But when I first saw it, at first I was like, oh my god, and then I thought, oh, it's just a toy. Because it looked like rubber plastic kind of.
Well, you'd be surprised at how many rubber snakes we get called on.
Oh, I bet.
So it happens.
That happened to me once before when we were on vacation. It was a lizard, and I thought it was a toy, but it turns out it was a dead real lizard. So I guess,
that's funny. Have a good day. So yeah, I'm gonna have to keep my camera rolling because the funniest thing, here I am, the snake catcher, and I'm trying to catch a snake. I pick the snake up. I'm holding the snake. I'm holding 2 snakes. As I'm asking the homeowner, where are the snakes? He says, you're holding them. So that was priceless. Time to go turn these guys loose. This couple, anyway. Well, I am in the woods, and anywhere I turn the snakes loose right here where I'm at, they're gonna do just fine. But what I'm thinking is because they were together and they're in love and they were in someone's garage, maybe they want to spend a little bit more time together. Because if I just dump them out here on the ground, they're going to just kind of take off and go find somewhere to hide. So instead of just putting them in the woods, I want to find them somewhere to hide. So I'm looking for cover, something that I can release them into, and they can, you know, spend the night there or a couple hours, whatever it takes, and they can leave whenever they're ready. So looking for a good hiding place for two snakes in love. I just found the spot. Right here is a really old brush pile. And way over on the other side, way over there, is a bunch of blackberry bushes. And so blackberry bushes, lots of thorns, which offer protection from predators for the snakes, but it also offers blackberries. Snakes don't eat blackberries, but the critters that snakes like to eat blackberries. So this is a perfect place, I think, to turn them loose. Now what I'm going to do is, since they're in this box, I'm going to let them come out of this box on their own. I'm going to sit this box down, remove the lid, and we're just going to watch. Hopefully it won't take too long. And they'll just crawl out of here and go wherever they want to go. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't she pretty? I don't know if that's the boy or girl. They're very pretty snakes. They're so sweet. Rat snakes, they're just awesome snakes. They really are. Now at first, these snakes are not moving around a whole lot because there's a lot to look at right now. I just took the lid off this box and they're realizing, hey, I think we're free. So they want to make sure there's no predators around. So once they realize that I'm not hovering over them and there's no movement around them, they'll start to slowly move around. Now if you look, the snake on the left, that's the female. And the male is there on the right, and he's intently watching her. Now watch carefully as to how this male treats the female. He really likes her. And right now, as long as she is moving, he's moving too. But when she stops moving, he stops moving. Right now, he's going to be very careful not to scare her off to where she jumps out of the box and just bolts out of there. So he wants to be really gentle. So right now, he's rethinking his next move as to what do I do? What do I do to get this girl to like me? So we're going to see him go over to her, and he's going to start trying to basically lay his entire body on hers. And he's trying to line up his whole body with hers. But the more she moves, the harder that can be. Now, if you watch really closely right here, look at the male's body as he's on top. You can very slightly see his muscle movements throughout his body. He's basically just moving all the muscles in his body, trying to stimulate her to want to breed with him. I don't know what that does, but I guess it does something. Either of these rat snakes could easily crawl out of this box and go on their way. But the male's not leaving because he wants to be with her. Now, why is she not leaving? I don't know. Maybe she wants to be with him. You'll also notice the male is keeping his head as close to her head as he can. This is basically just to keep up with her and know where she's at, but it's also a way to try to stimulate her to like him. Now, I haven't noticed the male bite the female yet. You're thinking, well, what, the snake bite the other snake? Yeah, but it's not a defensive or an aggressive bite. It's more of a love bite, and snakes often do this, and especially rats. Okay, there he goes, right there. You see the male biting the female. He's not being aggressive or doing this to hurt her. He's doing this to stimulate her and get her attention. To say, hey, look, baby, I'm a good-looking snake. I'm the one you want to be with. And look, he's biting her right there. But these are just little love bites. It's not anything to hurt her. So the female here is actually diving down underneath the shavings in this box. We put shavings in here so when the snakes are in here, if they go to the bathroom, it helps absorb that so they're not writhing around in their poop and urine in there. It just helps keep the snakes cleaner. So she's decided she wants to go hide from him underneath all this stuff. Well, I think he's figured out her trick. He's found her hiding place, and now once again he's trying to see what in the world he can do to let her know he is the man. While we're continuing to watch this, I'd like to ask you to do me a favor. If you haven't already subscribed to Snakes Are Us TV, please do that now. That really does help support our channel. Also, like and comment on this video. And when you're done watching this video, go watch our other ones. Well, he's got a mouthful of those wood shavings. Apparently, he just went in for another love bite and instead got his mouth full of sawdust. So, when we keep snakes in this type of substrate, we have to be careful if we feed them not to let them ingest this stuff, because if they ingest a lot of it, it can actually cause an impaction. But fortunately, this rat snake is not in the mood to eat right now, so the few little pieces of wood in his mouth, he'll be able to spit those out. And it's just going to be a temporary annoyance, and it looks like he's already got it out. So now he's going to go right back to courting this lovely girl. Now here he goes again, right here. He's biting her. And I think I think she likes it. She's tolerating it. You know, she could have shot off and taken out of this box a couple minutes ago. She hasn't done that. So that kind of makes me think she likes him too. So now what this means is once they're done breeding, these two snakes will separate. He'll go his way, she'll go hers. But her mission will then be to find the perfect place to lay her eggs. She can lay a lot of eggs, you know, more than a dozen, sometimes more than 24 eggs. After about 2 months, those eggs are going to hatch, and we're going to have a bunch of cute little rat snakes. Well, well, well. We not only got to catch and relocate 2 very beautiful rat snakes, but we got to see the male rat snake's idea of what it means to woo a pretty girl snake. All that writhing around and biting at her neck, that's all his way of getting her to breed with him. Now, all that snake courtship gets to continue right out here in nature. This was awesome.